Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man, Bad Chad, and we're going to put a wheel well in today. We are on air. What's going to happen, or what usually happens, is I will make a wheel well like this, and what I did, I'll show you what I did. We'll just do a little recap here. I took a fender. It was a fiberglass fender. I didn't use a steel fender. I'm going to try to find another steel fender for this car. I took this fiberglass fender, not this fender. I laid it down on a sheet of metal, and I traced this shape right here. That does not give me a true read where that fender bolted on. Did not give me a true read because we're out this far. We're a little bit bigger, and I didn't mind that is because on this wheel well itself, if you can remember correctly looking at it, there was a lot of weld and bronzing going on along that edge, and I had to take it off. I replaced a little piece this morning, had a little bronze patch welded on there. I just replaced it because it was the time. Once I got that wheel well jammed in there, I couldn't cut down and get it, so the time was to do it before I even started. As I'm looking at it, or as I tried it a couple times, I've tried to put it outside and I tried to put the wheel well in there. I've got this bad boy in the way. It's what's their shock of the day. That's in the way from me shoving it in there to go to that square stock. You can see that the frame doesn't go all the way back. And I cut the frame off on the back because there was a pan that went down inside the trunk that wouldn't allow the body to go on to see if it even fit. Also, I took a piece of square stock, and I'm just looking here now. If I left the chassis on there, the chassis would have come right to the outside of the wheel well. Don't know if that probably wouldn't have fit that well. So basically what's going to happen is, if I want it longer, I'll have to add on to it, and I don't find there's any problem with that. I can add on to it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld some square stock on from the floor to the back of the quarter panel. I'm going to cut that wheel well apart that I've made, that I'm hoping that I can make work because that's what I want to use. So this piece here is for this piece, obviously, and the wheel well is for this piece. So what I want to do, as I show down here, as I got this down here and I got this too long, that's going to be cut off. So what I want to do is that wheel well to come down here and close this off, and then I want the wheel well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make it come up and make the wheel well run with the floor down just a little bit past on side the frame, just like what I got going on there. I'll make it look nice. I'll make it look nice. And that's what I'm going to do. So basically I got to do a few things to put the wheel well in there, and I hope you have fun watching. That's basically what we do. Alrighty. Just to get started here, going to use my brain for a second. I have, basically what I'm going to do is, what I do on this side, I'm going to take it to the other side. So I've got a piece of square stock here. Just got a couple burrs on that. I've got a piece of square stock here. I've run it along straight with this piece here. I can run it along straight with there. And I've run it right back to the quarter panel itself. And that's where it lies. And that's exactly probably where the frame would have hit on the car if I tried to put it down on there. And I think that wheel well was in there a bit further than what we're going to do right now. And that's why that frame had to be cut off. It probably could have been cut off here somewhere, whatever. But that does not matter. I can always add on if I want to. And if I don't want to add on, it's already cut off. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this. If I mark where the bottom, I got that going straight. I'm in there probably a ½ inch. If I mark the bottom of that and mark the side of that, cut this off, and I weld it onto the edge of this, and I got a little bit of the frame sitting there to hold it up and weld it there. And then I'll come in here and put the top of it where the bottom mark is, and then I'll have a nice straight line going down to my quarter panel. And I'll do the exact same thing on the other side. When I put that on there, then I have a piece of square stock running from here to there, and on the other side from there to that quarter panel. And then that's when I'll put a piece of square stock in from here all the way across over there. And then I can run maybe one in the middle, and then one across from here to tighten it up. Also, where I'm adding this square stock onto that, and I'm welding it here, and I'd weld a piece of square stock going across, and that would just more or less make a box. I also would add a piece of square stock. Once I weld this on here, I'd add another piece and weld to the end piece of this square stock to really tighten it up. And I even grabbed a couple gussets so it would not move out, I don't think anyways. I even grabbed a couple gussets so I can weld this inside this square stock, and it would go a long piece of square stock that I run across so it would not go back and forth or jiggle or have any weakness. And I could almost put one inside there, and then I would open the trunk pan up and I would make a panel for that. Where I add the square stock from here to over there, you still would not see where the floor is added on. You just see a double piece of square tubing here. So I'm going to add another piece of square tubing on this side, weld it here. So it would be out to here, and then I put my floor on top of that. You just see two pieces of square stock running across there, which would just make that stronger. It's the trunk area. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get started. I'm going to make a couple lines and go for it. Now, this is obviously ground up a little bit. I had to grind up a little bit to get rid of it. And basically what I'll do is I'll take the same shape off the wheel well that I have on this side and try to apply it to the other side. Once I have that on there, I'm going to make the fender fit the way I can make it fit, and that'll be the way it's going to be. It's not going to be the original, but that's okay because there's nothing about this car that's original. That's the fun about it. Jolene looks amazing today, smiling at me. I love when she smiles at me. Boys, I love when she smiles at me. Makes me happy. So I'm just going to take a mark on this side. That tells me where to put it because I got it running straight along with this piece. I'll do the exact same thing on this side. Just so you know what I'm doing, I'm going to take a mark on the bottom. On the bottom. So when I take and cut this off here, mark that right there and cut that off. When I cut that off there and bring that down here, the top piece will be at the bottom of that mark, or the mark will be at the top of this piece. So let's do it. Let's do it. Also, I want to cut the wheel well apart so we can do a little bead roll. And what we done on the floor is probably exactly what we'll do to the wheel well itself. We won't do it to this piece probably, but we'll do it to the facing piece. The facing piece. Aiden's going to be here 3 days a week. He's going to be here 3 days a week, and that's the way we're going to keep it. That's the way he wants it. That's the way it's going to be. So you'll just see him 3 times and 3 videos a week, probably, no doubt in my mind. It'd be a good day for him to be here today, but this is not his day, and I've got to continue on. So I'm saying, or I'm hoping, there's the line, this side, there's the line that was on the bottom right on top of square stock, and I cut that short because I went too, look at that now, would you? I need to make that longer. I wasn't counting for that, was I? Well, you know what that calls for? It calls for another piece. I got the angle right there, and then I'll just cut this off straight. How's that? Don't tell anybody. That was my angled piece. There's my top mark. Now we can weld her in there. All right, let's turn the welder on. We'll put that piece in there. We'll do the exact same thing to the other side. Lay a piece of square stock on it, mark it, put the same distance out on the quarter panel, and then apply it. Exact same thing. That way there, it's close to being same on both sides. I want to weld it on this end. Hold that, Chad. Ah! Just trying to. That's just like me trying to hold Jolene's phone for the very first time. You know, sometimes it's a hard thing. I hit it with the welder just to give myself some light. That's what I did. I banged it on there, hit it once, didn't weld anything, just to give myself some light. Sometimes you need that. Alrighty. It's not going anywhere now. We've got it tacked 3 times. Oop. Put a hole in it, I did. Put a hole in it. Didn't let the red go away, did I? Sweetheart, what? I didn't let the red go away, did I? I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to, I can weld that down there anytime completely. Well, I might as well weld it up, to be honest with you. I'm going to weld it up on that edge. I'm going to take my own advice. I'm welding this down here. Wait till the red goes away. Awesome. No real heat is going to warp something like that. It's kind of banged up anyways. Where this wheel well is off, it's a great time to go along with the hammer and dolly and take out what I can, because it's not the best, that's for sure. And I will do that. I can weld that anytime on the inside because I can get at it. All right, that piece is going to finish that piece which holds the quarter panel. I got that in place. So that's as thick as the wheel well is going to be in the back. But I'm not going to make the wheel well come down and an angle in. That would not going to look that great. Does not matter how wide the wheel well is in the back. Basically, what I want is the wheel to fit where it's supposed to fit. We're making the street neater car. Is that what it's called?
Neat streeter. Neat
streeter. Just backwards. That's all. I do that a lot. I do that a lot. I even build cars that way, backwards. I find them, sometimes that's the way I like to do it, is backwards. And what I mean by that is I build the body and then I build the chassis to fit the body. Basically, I like the visual more than trying to make something fit a chassis. So that's the piece I need. I'm going to try to make this piece go in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this apart. Let's just put it up there and see what it looks like. Put it in there. So if I go, see that there's a shock in there. That shock in there is going to stop me from that back piece going in there nice. And I'm not going to get in there. So I'm going to pull it apart. I only got a few tacks on it. That was the smart thing about it. I only put a few tacks on it. We'll slide this piece in first. No, we'll slide the back piece in first, and then we'll slide this piece to it, and then we'll be able to trace it and make our true wheel well. Just going to get her zip cut. Man, we're cooking with gas now. Once we get the wheel wells in her, man, she'll be looking like something, won't she, baby? Mm-hmm. Huh? She'll be looking like something. Alrighty. Freeze! This is exciting. Alrighty, so we're going to end up bead rolling this piece. It's just a flat sheet of metal, and we'll probably bead roll it the exact same way as we did the floor. We'll probably take some tape, go around the outside edge or something like that, you know, just do whatever we can do. Have the other bead roller that does the wider groove is in the other shop. See what happens. See what happens. So basically, I want to get this in here. Goes right up to there. Have we got enough? Oh yes. We've got enough, all right. Probably got a little. All right, now. Let's do this. Put that on top of there so I can get that in there. Awesome. And I can trace that. Beautiful. You are, Jolene. You're beautiful. I love my baby. I love my baby. Sometimes sometimes it's nice to have a couple people doing something like this, but when you don't, carry on. Carry on, Jeffrey. Did I get that? Nope. I've got two. Ah, there we go. Makes me feel better. Don't want to bend anything. Just want to. I'm going to try to knock that on that square stock so I can get it to stay. Hey, get in there now. No sense fighting with me. No. Yes, sir, baby. Why? Is that going to reach that? Is it? I got to see. No, I need a longer pair of grips. Just going to leave that like that again. What's that? No, it's all right. I'll get them. I'm a big boy now. I'm a big boy now. Alrighty. Got C-clamps over here. Just a little longer throat on them, that's all. Exact same thing, just a longer throat. You can make them too. I've made a couple sets with longer throats doing things. Just take and cut them. Add a piece of metal in between. I've got a couple over there. Cut them, make them as long as you want to. Right? Make them as long as you want to. Now, make that dip in there. I'm going to stay. Now I can see that too. I can cut that out. Now, if we come over here, good. We can see that we've got enough to put the metal in here. I got a little down there. That does not matter to me, not at all. Doesn't not matter. But we got enough metal up inside to put that piece all the way around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and cut that out, or get a mark so I can cut this shock out. I'll get on my hands and knees for you, baby. I'll get on my hands and knees for you. Yoop, yoop. I'm just going to cut something out here. Now, if I really do like actually where it's at. I'm going to cut that out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece out so I can bring this all the way over tight to my square stock. And then I can trace the top of the square stock, or I'll trace the top of it. And then what I'll do is I'll pull it out and I will cut it so it fits that square stock so it looks good, if you know what I'm trying to say. If you don't, stick with us and we'll show you. Won't we, baby? Yeah. We'll show them. We're not scared. I'm going to take this off. This is exciting. Mm-hmm. Getting the back of a car put in. Exciting. Okay. There's a piece I want cut out. I just had that. All right, that's a piece I want cut out. Just because just going to cut it out with a zip cut. I don't think it matters because we're going to end up cutting it off again, and we'll get the other things to do that. I don't know what they're called, them little shears. We'll cut this out with the grinder. Pull it back in tight. We're missing our shock. Perfect. Do we want to go down a little bit? Yeah, we can go there if we want to. I don't want to go down any further, to be honest with you. I don't want to go down any further. I'm just going to leave it up. No, I can pull it down a little bit. Let's pull it up right there. I'm going to tighten that up just a bit. And the reason being, all I'm doing is looking at this. This metal has to be higher than this, so I can get a... has to be higher than that, so basically you can go right to it there if it wants to. Don't matter to me, but it has to be higher than... Come on. Get my hands situated for this grip. So, there we go. Okay. Now, that piece there is going to go in and weld along here, all the way up in here, and then it's going to come out here and weld on this quarter panel. So, I'm coming in here. You want to come in here, sweetheart? Yeah. Can if you want to. So what's going on here, you can see that the wheel well is above the opening. That's basically what I want to know. I want to know if it's above the opening, and it is. So, also, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do my marker, and I'm going to trace this shape. Because I want the wheel well to look good in there. I just don't want to throw something in there that doesn't look good. So, I'm going to come over here. Get my marker. Put that in my pocket. Beautiful you are, Joey. Beautiful. Man, this is looking good in here. Get some new sheet metal in here. Wow. Just going to get that over nice and tight. Then come along here with my marker. And when I pull this out, all the bumps are the weld marks. If you know what I'm trying to tell you. All the bumps are the weld marks. So, that gives me my shape of the wheel well. And I know it's okay because it's above the opening in there. When I shove the other piece in, I'm just going to tack it on, and then I'll be able to trace the top of the wheel well, and I'll know what that is. So stick with us. We'll continue on here in a second. Get that marker back in there. Now, this is exciting. Where did I put my gloves? I took them off in there. I think I did. did too. And I will not tack them in. Like I said, I have a little bit of work there I can do there with a hammer and dolly and play with it a little bit. So I might as well leave them out until that happens. But we're going to pull it out right now. I'm going to mark a line. Basically, I want to start with that. I don't want to, you know, the line's way up here where I drew the line for the wheel well. It's way up there. I want to start it down here though, and come up. I think I want to start right there. Well, that's not a very good line to go by. It's a whole bunch of marks there, isn't there? I'm going to erase that off. A little thinner on a rag. Just going to erase that off for a second. And the reason being, that's not a very good mark to say that's where I'm going to start. We're going to do this. We're going to put one mark. How's that? Right there. That's going to be a reference point where I'm going to start doing that. Take this off. Let's flop it over. There's our mark. I need to get a little spot nice little clean spot to do this. Now, that's the edge. That's the top of the square stock. Have to remember that sort of stuff. If I start bringing it out and cut that off, and that'll be on the top of the square stock, I wouldn't like that. The rest of it I can't see. I'm going over here. I'm going to grab this mark and bring it to the other side. That's where I'm starting because it's going to match up with this where I've got the quarter panel. It's going to match up with down here. If I take it down, like I said, if I was going to just, where I traced is up here, what I was going to do is just go down 3/4 of an inch and go along with there. But no, I'm going to start down there and go up to the 3/4 inch. So they'll be a little thicker here, but I'll bring it up all the way along. We'll see what happens. So that is my mark. And I'm going to trace this on just the way I want to, basically. I'm going to go. And we know we've got 3/4 inch. This is what I'm going to do. Three-quarter inch, so to give me 1.5 inches. Just so I have a truer read, that's all. Could do it with a protractor. Could, if you wanted to. Scrape along the line. I'm going to do 2 of them because I want 1.5 inches. I don't want to see the square stock. Down the end, down here, I'm going to take a look and see up there. So, that's my mark. I'm just going to go from this and kind of make it go straight until I hit this. That way there I'm not doing anything special. I'm just kind of bringing it up, I guess. Maybe it should go round and up, I guess. I don't know. Just playing with it. I think what I'll do is I'll make a little roundness to it. Right here. Make it a little bit more rounder, and then bring it up. When I take the tape off, to even where I have that there, a big wide mark like that, the inside, I can do by the inside line where the tape is. The tape won't allow the marker to be inside. You know what I'm trying to say? That's the bigger marker here. I'll just go up, follow the line on the inside, by the tape side. I can't remember down the end. It wasn't all the way down there, was it? Oh, sorry, Fina. When it came down here, I was a little bit shy right here. So I'm just going to tuck it down a little bit, give myself a little extra. Or it didn't even hit there, I don't think. It wasn't even long enough. Was it? No. No. So it's just going to be up a little bit, and that does not matter. Nope, I'm just going to do this. Keep that. Just going to draw it down. What the hey? So, when it comes to the other side, if this one fits nice the way I want it to fit, I'm automatically going to go trace one, basically. That's what I'm going to do. Got a couple markers now. Alrighty. So, got to think this over for a second. Everything going all right? Everything going all right? Everything going all right? Yep. Alrighty. I'm going to say that's the wheel well shape that I want. I'm going to cut that out with the shear. So this part will be the bead rolled piece. Bum, 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 bum. Get my shear. So you can, I don't know if picture or not, you know, a lot of people would like to have a coupe, you know, and basically what we are doing, we are building a coupe from a two-door because we desire a coupe just a little bit more, and also we are building it basically from nothing, from no money basically, and I'm showing how it can be done, and that means that you could do the exact same thing if you want to. After you watch these videos, you should know how to be able to make a floor. Not saying that you're going to do it as quick or as whatever, the same or whatever. You do it your way, obviously, but you're going to be able to make a floor. You're going to be able to make wheel wells. You're going to know how to butt weld your metal on. Jolene showed that she can do it. You can do it. I can't even pick up a piece of metal. Come on now. Going by the top mark. Nope, didn't want that one. Well, I'm going to use it now. I'm going to use it now. Just going to go down, that's all. Man, I'm getting all wound out of shape, aren't I? Hooked on my markers. Doesn't take much to get hooked on something. Hooked on phonics. Telling you, if you're not watching that stuff, that's when you frig up on your cuts. Something holding it. That's when I frig up. All right, now I'm going to take the zip cut and fix that. Not zip cut, flapper wheel, and I'll fix that down there. Come on. All right, flapper wheel. Fix this a little bit. I'm going to do shape it a little bit more. Wasn't quite paying attention. Just taking some off, that's all. obviously. Just trying to make a smooth transition. That's all I'm trying to do. Smooth it off a little bit, get the transition going good. Transition, that's a big word for me. Transition. Grr. It's like the baby can pick the pea off its plate, and you try to pick a pea off your plate and see what happens. I'm going to knock these spot welds off on the other side, just smoothing them up, because I don't think I have to, but I'm going to do the two end ones. Alrighty. 18 gauge, that's what I'm using, 18 gauge. 18 gauge. Alrighty. Put that in there. Pull that back. It's a little wobbly there. I'll straighten it out before I start. As long as we got enough up over above, that's all that matters. That we got enough to go in there. That's what matters. And I like it. These ones work now. Alrighty, what I'm going to do now is just look and see if it's the same. That looks good. What I'm doing is just looking and see if how far the overhang is coming down, just checking it out and see if it's the same or not. Now it's going to fit. Also, you can see where it's all going to be welded. That inside wheel well is going to be welded all the way along the top. Spot, 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 all the way along that top rail. And it can be even spotted on the bottom rail too if it likes. So, and what I'm looking at, I've got a little, to me, and it doesn't even matter now that I think about it. I got a little bit, I got a nice transition going on there. I got a little wobbly right there and a little wobbly right there, and that just matters taking that flapper wheel and straighten it out a little bit. We got overhang coming down on the chassis, so that's fine. Doesn't matter because you can't see it there, but that's the wheel well. Now we got this piece to put on. Bump, 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 bump. I do not want to tack that on because that's got to come back off. We're going to do some bead rolling. Basically, what I want to know is the shape of the top. That's what I got to know now. That's what I got to know. I got to know right now. Tell me, do you love me? Will you love me forever? Do you need me? See what's basically going on now? So now I'm going to make it fit. I hate to say it, but I'd love some help. You laughing at me? Why are you laughing at me, sweetheart? Come on. Baby looks amazing this morning.
Stop.
So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack it on up here. Just tack it on all the way along. I'm just going to get Jolene to hold maybe the back side. And that way there, once I get it tacked on, get it in here, and get it all the way into the wheel well, I'm hoping that it'll stay straight. I don't want to push it over or make it go any which way, but straight. You know, it's up in there fairly decently straight, and that's what I would like. Don't care about the overhang that comes out because we're wider here than there, obviously. There's only a little tiny bit there. Maybe I could start down here. You hold up there? Or what would you rather?
That's fine.
That's fine?
Yeah, I can hold it here.
Okay. Alrighty, here we go. Let's do this. I'm going to put I don't need the marker, but I do need a helmet, and I do need the welder turned on. So, I'm going to, what am I going to do? I would like to, I don't want to knock this piece in, if you know what I'm trying to say. It's going to probably knock it in a little bit. Yes, it is. So you're going to hold that up. What I'm going to do is basically, can you go in some? Can you push it right into the wheel well itself? There we go. Hey, that's where we want it. That's exactly where we want it. I'm going to tack it in. Just tack it on there, just like that. When it's leaned in too much, like the wheel, can you tell that metal's leaned in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's leaned in. And I'll tell you the reason why. You got to pull down further, baby. Go back past that quarter panel. You want me to come down past the front? There you go. Now you're talking, sweetheart. I'm just going to put that in like that. Tack this. Just tack it. So just tack it easy. I got enough down there. You've got enough at your end. Beautiful. Just going to push up on it. Not trying to weld it together yet. So I'm just tacking it as light as possible. Beautiful. You are. Man. Just want to hold it up in here as possible. Not doing this one yet. We're just kind of burnt your nice patch. I did. Just gonna tack that there. There. Now. You're well, I gotta do a little bit more here. Here, yeah, you can get your camera if you want to. So basically, just gonna, how do I get that in there? Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Hold, come on there. Awesome. Awesome. That doesn't look so good anyways. That probably got to be beat in there. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to look inside the car and see if the wheel wells. Yes, come take a look if you like. If you look in there at that wheel well, you can see, to me, I can see that it's it's angled in. The wheel well is angled in a little bit. So basically, all that means is when it's welded together, this piece we're going to have more on the outside. You know what I'm saying? When that wheel well comes out a little bit, we're going to have a little bit more here. I want a little bit more here because of it's only got a 1/2 inch there. I'd like to see it have a lot more. Let's shut this off for a second. And I probably should do this real quickly. When it comes out, yeah, it should be fine. So this is what I'm going to do right now. So this time, when we come back, I'm going to do this. So when I unsnap this piece, I'm going to cut that line up there, and I'm going to be able to butt weld this piece to the wheel well. And then we know when we put it in, it fits perfect, basically. So what I want to do is I want to straighten out a little bit of this stuff here on this edge. I want to cut. I can leave that there. I want to cut this off. Just cut off the same amount all the way along. I can cut that off there. And I'll take a look at it. That'll be my mark, my inside mark. I'm going to leave the front. You can see how that's going to close the quarter panel off. That closes that off. We weld that along there. Weld it along the bottom. That closes that off. And then we'll cut this piece off down here, underneath here. We'll weld it down along here. And then we'll see how this piece is going to line up with this piece. We'll just trim it up a little bit, and that'll just flow right along with the wheel well. I want it maybe a little bit more. We're going to get probably 1/2 inch more because it's leaned in a little bit. I want it to get a little bit more on the width of the fender, and that's fine. We got 1 inch there. So whatever I have to do with the fender, whether I'm cutting it, whether I'm going to knock this off where the holes are, whether I'm, see with the high spot of the fenders right here, I might leave that part on. But when you come back here, this all tucks down. Well, I'm thinking that's going to be gone. I'm thinking we're going to go with the high part of the fender. Down there where it all tucks on, that's going to be gone. And it's going to be replaced with this. So now I've got this metal here to replace that metal so it doesn't tuck down in. So it's going to come down and then out, basically. So, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to take and unsnap this. Do you want to help me do the bead rolling? Do you want to try it? Do we want to do it?
Yeah.
All right. Didn't really get her ready, boys. I didn't let her know that I was going to do this, so she's being a trooper. She's being a trooper. I'm going to knock off this one. I'm going to leave that one there and that one there, so it'll hold it for a second. I'm going to cut this one off. Knock them off and spot welds because they'll hinder me when I go to put it back on. Maybe just knock them off, nothing to it. Fantastic, fantastic. Got a nice line going on. Beautiful. Going to flapper wheel this just a little bit right here. Just a little bit. Nope, not plugged in. Just trying to make that line a little bit better. Flow a little nicer. Don't need to cut that off because I'm going to cut it off. Or I don't need to grind that off, I'm going to cut it off. Just going to flap the wheel. Alrighty. I'm going to take this, maybe lay it up here and cut it. Now that's the line I want. Be careful. I'm going to take and just cut this off. I'm going to cut the small stuff off on the edge. I'm going to cut that off the grinder. Just a little more, what can I call that? A little more precision maybe. Yeah. Now.
You want to hold it?
No, I want the top line. I'm just wondering what line I want. Man, that thing cutting good this morning. Yeah, I'm going to cut a little bit. I'm going to leave that little tiny bit on that end to sit in that groove. I think that was a smart thing to do. I think. It might not have been. Done worse. I'm gonna try this bad boy just because I got it. I don't think I want to cut that. Might ruin the shear for next time. Just a spot weld I don't want to cut. Going good, looks good, happy with it. Now, bend this down a little bit. I'm going to put it down on the ground again. Excuse me there, Jolene, for a sec. I'm going to take a space here. Now, bump, 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 bump. I know where to cut that off, that's the end. I got to grind all them little marks off. Do that. When I roll that through, it steps it out a little bit. And we're probably 1.5 inches. I guess it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just push it in harder, right? Yeah. What I'm thinking is, I'll tell you what I'm thinking. When we did the floor, we got the bead roller all set in there. I just used the 2-inch tape and went around. What I'm thinking is, on the top it's fine because it's going to be well that, but on the bottom it's going to be 2-inch, and I'm going to get it in there against that square stock. But it's going to push it in, so that's a good thing. It's going to push this out a little bit. That's all right. It's all good. I think I got it figured out. I think I do. Alrighty. We're going to put some 2-inch tape around it. We're not going to stop now. We may as well do it the exact same way we did the floor. And I see nothing wrong with it. You can make special designs in this all you want to. But remember, when the fender's on, it's gone. Jolene told me yesterday I was complaining about something on the floor. She goes, oh, remember, the carpet's going down. She got me. I'm my own worst enemy because she holds on to what I say. And when I have an issue or a problem, she lets me know. God bless you, baby. I'm going to try to do this the best I can without taking the distance away from the tape. And what I mean by that, when it wrinkles up like that, I'm just using this for a guideline instead of, going and trying to make something fancy. Just get the tape out and use that distance. Seems to work fine. Looks good on the floor. So we're just going to keep using it. Just when you go around the corners, it seems to take away from the... Just a guide for the bead roller. Not sure how well we're going to get this done with this long piece of metal and two of us, but you know what's going to happen? We're going to do it anyways. And when I'm going around there, I'll use my own judgment on that. I'm not going to go in there and do that. I'll use my judgment on that. I suggest anybody use their judgment on things, Just use your judgment. And just make you better at making decisions, that's all. That's all it will do for you. Make you better at making decisions. Should trace that first, shouldn't I? Give myself another one before I even get started. That's what I'm thinking. I should trace this before I get going. I'll lay this metal down. .18 gauge. Hoping got to cut a little bit off that edge, though. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hoping. Yeah. Just trying to use up the less sheet metal as possible. Basically it. Still gonna, there we go, like that. I'll give a little bit to cut so it's easier to cut. Like this. Stop it. Did it move? Yeah. We can fake it. Now I might even take and take this, well, don't matter. Let's make this piece. Bum, 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 bum. That goes down. Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to bead roll that, the two of us. Did not make my tape marks. Think I can do it? Yes. What do you think, sweetheart? You need that table? Okay, I'm going to do a couple marks here. I forgot to do a couple marks on this. Just want to round the corners on this. Adolfina, you're such a great dog. What time is it? How long have we been?
An hour.
An hour? Do we?
We could do part 2.
Part 2 wheel well? Dun, 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 dun. Well, let's bead roll this. Show the ups and downs. Just two of us doing the best we can. I'll bring the table in. We'll roll this. We'll show what it looks like. I'll stick it up in there. Everybody can visualize the piece going in. So we'll go there. And I need a drink. Hit me up, Pepsi. Hit me up, man. Right, baby? Alrighty. Let's. Jolene's going to help me. She's going to work the wheel, and I'm going to try to work this bead roller the best I can with the length of metal that I have. And you must understand, this is quite a length of metal to hold. But you know what? We can do it. And the reason being is, I don't know, because we want to. I've got the will and the want this morning. How's that? Baby, I got the will and the want this morning. Might just take my glasses off for this one. I might. That way there it won't look so crooked. Are you ready, baby?
Yeah.
All right, just go slow if you will, please. Slow as you can. A little faster if you want to. And I'll just scream when it's too fast.
Okay.
My screaming voice isn't that good, but... Ooh, this is going to be a rough one. I got to stretch my arms way. Go ahead. Just, I'm going to resituate here. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Do you want me to try to?
If you can. Just, yeah, keep going. You're doing a fantastic job. It's me that's going off the line. Go ahead. All right, I'm going to bring it around here slowly.
You got that?
Go, yep, go slow. Just a second. Go ahead. We get by the wall just by the skin of our teeth, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right, you just keep cruising. Just a second. Ah. All right, go ahead. Doing the best we can with what we, the two of us. And remember, once the wheel goes on, it's gone. All right, just a second. Go ahead. I hope I got that half decent. Jeez. All right, just a second. I got to readjust. All right, go ahead.
You're getting close.
All right. I'm going to turn her now. Just go slow. Go ahead. Just go slow. Go slow. All right, go ahead. Good. Let's let her off. I don't know what happened in the end there, but awesome. Yeah. Good. I get off there a little bit. I have to beat that. Just a second. Just turn that down a little bit. Nope. Just a second. All right. Just a second. Turn it down. Yeah, right there. I'll tell you when. Just a second.
Loosen
All
it.
right, just a little bit more.
Tight.
Yep. Go ahead. Now turn. Now roll a little bit. Good. I still think I got in the same place. Undo it. I'll fix it. No, the other way. Unloosen it. Keep going so I can pull it out. There we go. Beautiful. Let's unroll. Let's undo tape it. Jolene's going to grab the camera. We'll untape this bad boy, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Basically, it's inside the wheel well. If we were going for some giant award and it was crooked, well, then we probably might want to do another piece or spend some time on it. But basically, we're going to use it because it's the wheel well of the car. No one's going in there, I don't think. It's good. Some tape or cut it off. Awesome. Come on. Cut the tape. A couple places. Just be right with you here in a minute, trying to get tape off. Boo-boo there. Something like that. So the piece that we've got put in there, we can weld that piece along the top of it before we even slide it in there because we know it's going to fit. So we're just going to get it on. We're going to put it up like this, run that piece over to it. We'll butt weld it all the way around. We're going to have a 90 edge on the wheel well on the inside. Don't matter to me. Seems like an easier thing to carpet than something that's round to me. But basically, that's our bad boy. Take this over here. And this piece we'll weld on here like this. And then we'll shove it inside the car and go for it. So there's the inside of the wheel well. We'll smarten it up a little bit. What I mean by smarten it up a little bit, try to take the wheelbase out of it a little bit with the grinder. We got 18 gauge there. We can straighten it out a little bit. Basically, what I like to do, if you want to straighten that out a little bit, where it's 18 gauge, this is what I'm going to tell you. It's my trick anyways. This is what I do. I'll take, it's got a little wobble, say, right along here a little bit. I take the tape and I go with the furthest place out. Run my tape along there, try to make it straight. Then I'll take my flapper wheel, wherever it's high, I'll try to grind it off to this. This is my lowest spot. Then I take my flapper wheel and I just flapper wheel this edge off a little bit so it makes it look like the line is straight. And it's very deceiving for the eye. It really is. Alrighty, everybody. That's how we're going to make a wheel well for this. I got to weld that square stock on the inside, flapper wheel that off a little bit. Make sure it's welded down there to the quarter panel. A few things I got to do. I got to take and cut that piece. Well, I don't have to cut that piece. I'm going to have to put that piece on this piece. Just like we had it before. It's going on there like that. All right, just going in there like that because we know it fits. And then that's our wheel weld. We'll shove that into the car, and then we'll weld it on the top to the quarter panel up here, where my finger's going. Doot, 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 doot. And that's what we're going to do. So basically, what I will do is I'll probably tack that together, or weld that together. Do we want me? I'll weld it together, then we'll shove it in tomorrow maybe and finish it? Mm-hmm. Whatever, we'll be back tomorrow. I want to thank everybody for coming and watching. That's basically what we're going to do for the wheel well. And then once we get that piece on, then it's time to mount a fender or do whatever, or even go to the other side. We'll see what happens. But it's very exciting to get a wheel well made to go in there, and we're going for it. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.